it all looks a bit of a mess, but this path here is the path the road is going to sit on. So this is all nice and level, so the road shouldn't have any strange kinks in it. And what I've done is I have put strips of cardboard down, partly because cardboard is light, but also I just need to make a rough structure of the hills that go down to the lake. And I've also put some carved bits of foam on. But the next job, which I really do quite enjoy, is I take some strong kitchen foil and I begin to make the covering. Now the reason I use kitchen foil is it begins to look a bit like a rock surface. Now what I do is I lay it down shiny side, and first off I'll pull off a piece about that long. Then I'll just gently ruffle it. That's just to put a few creases in it, so it gives it a bit more of a rock-like finish. Then I take my PVA glue. This is great PVA glue. It dries quite quickly and dries waterproof and dries clear and sticks anything. So I'll do this back bit first. There we go. I'm just brushing on some glue at the top here to get the top of the foil. Then I'm going to just dab bits. I'm not being too careful. I just want to dab some little bits so the foil can stick to it if it wants to. This one. Right, okay, let's see how this goes. Oh, put a bit of glue inside the lake top. I mean, this is sort of a growing process, if you like. I'll put some foil down, and then I'll put the next piece of foil down, and then the two I will begin to mould together to the shape I want. And then when I have got the shape I want, later I'll be painting PVA glue all over it, because then that hardens, and it hardens like a layer of plastic over it, and then I'll be painting it. So that's stuck on the top now, and then I'll just gently begin to push it down onto the cardboard supports. You don't want to push too hard because you'll end up pushing all your creases out. And just tear off the two long bits. You can always add more glue later. At the moment it's really just about beginning to get a surface and getting an idea what shape you want for the hills. So paint a bit on there. There we go, first bit in, that's how quick it is. good. Oops. Right, what are we doing? Okay, a bit more. I am smoothing the top down though, because I'll probably be sticking a bit of grass effect on here, and also to make sure the glue sticks to the top. So I've got all the foil down, and I've given it one coat of the PVA glue. This you just brush on all over. You can see it a bit wet here. Now what that does is when that dries, it hardens up like a layer of plastic. So when this is dry, I'm going to give it another coat, because the more coats you give it, the stronger the structure will be. But I use the little camera and you can see how it's looking. My son said it looked like somewhere from space. That's the lake. Be interesting to see what these camera angles are like from down here. So when it's had a couple of coats of PVA glue, then I will spray it. You can see I've just been testing the spray. I've got some grey spray, so I was just testing it out. But I do want to give it some more coats just to make sure it's strong enough. And then once it's painted, the track goes down. I haven't yet decided what's going at the back here. I think I'm going to make some standalone mountains so I can move them on and offset. And then the train, which is going to be running all the way around the outside, that can go behind the mountains. This is what the silver foil looks like once it's painted. You paint it grey and then you put some little flecks of green on. But it does give, I mean here I've really given a very textured rock. On the layout I've gone for something a little bit more smoother. Partly because I want cars to be able to rocket down the slope and splash into the lake. That's the intention. But this may fit here. I can't think of anywhere else this would go. It'd be nice to reuse it. So that might be the way ahead. So I'm going to let this dry, then come back and give it another coat, and restart the camera up again when I come to spray. So this has all had 2 coats of PVA glue, which has made it quite nice and hard, and it's also been sprayed grey. So the next stage is to put on a bit of green paint. Now the only green paint I can find is actually quite light, but that doesn't matter at the moment because I'll use it as a base coat. And all the layers you begin to put on, this is just a household paint I've mixed with a bit of green, will begin to, all the layers of paint will begin to strengthen the board. So, and while the paint is still wet, I've got some of this powder from a model railway shop. Sort of looks like a green sawdust, but when you sprinkle it on glue, it has the effect of looking like grass. So I'm going to sprinkle it just on the wet paint. So that's it for the moment. I'm going to put the track on next and decide where the rest of the scenery and bushes and touching up the paint should go. But I'll have a better idea of that when all this track's gone on.